Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Charcha with the Chichaas. Prashant, say hello.
Hello,
So, people,
hello, check.
today again, after a long days of work and I don't know what else, we are here recording for you guys and for ourselves as well, for our sanity and
Of
for our
course.
peace of mind. This episode and the topic of today's episode is things that we did right and the things that we shouldn't have done during our chota sa lifespan until now. We are not such people who have a lot of experience in a lot of things, but jo bhi chota mota mila hai, and who are, we hope that most of our listeners are people who are younger than us. So I hope that they are the ones who are listening to this and get something useful and maybe something good out of this. So Prashant, let's start off with you. What is the one thing that we should do when we are in our teenage?
Of course. So let's begin with the first thing. First things first. What do we need in life, Eric? What is the basic essential that we live in life, that we need in life to live a good and a comfortable life?
Wi-Fi.
Uh, okay, but how do you get your Wi-Fi?
Money.
Money, of course. The number one thing that I was thinking about when we talked about what we should have done in our teenage or what we should have been responsible about is money, of course. And if you think about it, throughout our teenage years, we have been spending money like water. We have never monitored or we have never regulated where our money goes and how much we spend, right? How much
Yeah.
we received and how much we spent. For example, think about all the gadgets that you got, right? Your parents paid for it. Think about all the clothes that you got, right? Think about the best Nike or Reebok shoes that you got. Think about the iPhone. We have been, so what happens is when we are teens, we are too dependent on our parents, and what we do is we spend money just without regulating it. But imagine, Eric, if every month you would have saved just 500 rupees so from your from your standard 10,
Yeah.
what would be the situation today? Or just you would have put it in an FD or a mutual fund or something like that. The scenario would have been completely, you would be a lakpati, right? That's what you call somebody who has lakhs of money in his bank account. You would have been that at least. But that's what happens. Yeah, you're saying
No,
something?
no, no. It's true. It's true. Like, since childhood we have been given some amount of money, like maybe college जाने का पैसा मिल रहा है या तो most I don't know how much of a pocket money is concept in India. I don't know how many people get that money. Most of our pocket money is भाजी खरीदने जो गए थे उसके बाद जो वो remaining पैसा है वो अपने जेब में जाता है. That is pocket money in basically in Indian terms, I feel. Was it the case with you, or you had a constant flow of pocket money for you as well?
It was the same Indian mentality while talking about pocket money, but later on when I was in ninth or 10th standard, I understood that pocket money is not a concept in India, and then I started earning my own money, which was sort of pocket money because it was not a lot of money, but it was money which I could use to go and have some go for a small outing with my friends or go roaming around. It was that sort of money, but then at the same time, even I was not very cautious about how I spent my money, right? And that's the number one thing that teens usually should do. What Indian teens are very bad at, and Indians are generally bad at, is, I think you would agree, I think most of the developing countries are bad at this, and even America, for that matter, is turning out not very good at this. Is managing money, right?
Yeah.
You should understand the concept of money, right, and understand where exactly value lies.
Absolutely.
We think value lies in our Reebok shoes. We think value lies in the iPhone that we hold in our hand. We think value lies in the JBL earphones that we listen to while traveling in the train and going to college and flaunting off our bags, which may be from American Tourist or I don't know what sort of bag it is, right? And our glasses, our Ray-Ban glasses, and this and that. But we should understand that that is not exactly where money lies, because I assume even you might have enjoyed all those luxuries in your life.
Yeah.
I have enjoed. I have had woodland shoes.
Yeah,
I've had shoes,
you're
one of the
making me
best.
feel guilty for the shopping that I did today. Like I should know. Yeah, यार ये उठा के मैंने म्यूचुअल फंड में डाल देना चाहिए था पैसा.
डाल देना चाहिए था. Exactly.
But आपके नीचे से वो चादर निकाल दी जाती है. Then you have to do it on your own and you have to know where your money is going, right?
Yeah, I think Eric, the word that you used is show off, and I think most of the developing countries' mindset is a show off mindset, which we also call as a status game.
Yep,
Status game is all about show off. It is
absolutely.
not about how much you are paid off or how much you have in your pockets. It's all about how much you can show off.
How much the
And
other
you
person
and
thinks that I earn, yo?
yes, exactly. It's not your actual value of the bank, but what you show your neighbor, what you show the people that this is my worth. So
हईला
that is one of the
देखी क्या
games.
वो नया गाड़ी लिया देखना कितना पैसा है उसके पास to go through that feeling, just for that momentary pleasure. Okay, that's the
Yeah.
status game, don't you feel?
Yeah, exactly. That is, and that's a very bad status game because because people end up losing all of their life savings, showing off of their wealth, right?
Hmm.
अगर 10 रुपए का पैसा दिखाने के लिए 10 रुपए का खर्चा किया तुमने,
Hmm.
basically, then it's a zero sum game. You end up putting
Un-
all of your savings in your daughter's marriage. You end up putting all of your savings in that car,
Absolutely.
right? In that bike.
Unless you are a Gujarati who has a business, they spend 11 rupees while earning 10 because they know they are going to earn 10 more the next time and they know how they are going to earn
Yeah.
it. So if you have that
Yeah.
kind of mentality, if you have that sort of a business mindset, then go ahead and spend it because you know that you are not going to lack of anything because you know how to make a buck, right? But
See, if you're in the wealth game, if you're not in the status game, if you're in the wealth game, you end up winning the status game.
absolutely 100%.
But if you're in the status game, you lose the wealth game. That is the biggest trick. That's a chess trick that people usually
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah. It's the check. Actually, people think that if we compare it to chess, money is the main motivator for everything. Basically, the queen, okay, and status is the king. Okay,
Yeah,
status is
yeah.
the king. Status is everybody tries to protect that. Okay, but queen is the
yeah.
most powerful among it. Right.
Yeah.
That's how the
Yeah.
game works. So if you protect your queen, okay, your king is going to be safe and you are going to win the game throughout. But if you lose and blunder the queen, then it's going to be
Yeah.
very hard for you to sustain and stay in the game and stay relevant in the game, right? As strong as you are. So
To say something that is very essential that people should understand, if you cannot manage your own finances, Eric, if you cannot manage your own money, own pocket money of sorts, you cannot manage your family's money. When you both earn, or when your family is earning, or when you have a pool of incomes,
Yeah.
they may be from jobs, but
Mhm.
it's an income source.
Mm.
If you cannot manage one income source, which is very small, you cannot manage a big one. So you have to learn. That's why it's very important for you. Even if you're enjoying your teenage using money and buying all that shit, you need to be very peculiar about how you're managing that. If you need to understand how credits work, how debits work, how loans work. You need to understand, because what happens is most of the times we are not very familiar with the concept of loans
Yeah.
or the concept of credits, and there comes a time when you immediately need to borrow money on a loan or take money on credit.
Yeah.
And that's the time when you take actions very quick, very fast, and then
Without
the
realizing the
consequences follow
consequences.
later on. Yeah. And I think you can speak better about credits, because I think you know better about credit cards.
Absolutely. Like, because whenever I was going to take a credit card, okay, so because I was always scared about the interest and the things that. So I first spoke to the person who was giving me the card. Okay, so I didn't know about how it works and what is the situation like and when should I pay it off. So I first had a word with my dad, who is a great financial advisor. Whenever I want to go ahead with any financial decision, I go to him. So he was like, so this is the thing that it comes to. Credit card is good. Okay, it is great thing because you get a lot of reward points when you pay off the credit card and your credit score is good. Then you get a loan if ever you require it easily. But it's the worst if you are not able to pay it off. Okay.
Yeah.
The worst thing about a credit card is that it is plastic money. Okay, and sometimes you keep swiping it, you do not know how much you have actually spent without realizing the consequences of how much you are going to spend on it, right?
Yeah.
So that becomes the
Yeah.
biggest problem because it has the highest interest. Okay, the main reason
Yes.
bank earns so much is because of the interest they levy upon the unpaid bills on credit cards. Okay, so
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
year it's something around, I guess, 40% per annum is the credit card interest rate. So that becomes,
Yeah.
if you divide it by 12, it's somewhere around 3.2, 3.4, 3.4,
Yeah.
something
Something around that.
something around
Yes.
that
Yes.
range. So that's a lot
Yeah.
of money. Like if you are using 10,000 rupees, okay, and if you are paying 3.3% on that, okay, so that becomes 13,300 rupees. Sorry, yeah, so somewhere around that sort. Sorry, guys, forgive my math calculation at that point of time. But you are getting paid every time, okay, and then it's compounding. Okay, it's compounding upon that. You're getting paid late
Yeah.
fee charge every time. You're getting
Yes.
paid
Yes.
so
Yes.
many
Yes.
things, and you think you are safe, but actually always keep track of your plastic money and always know how much where you have spent what. Sorry for the rant, Prashant. Go on. Yeah.
No, of course, what you're saying is right. And when you're talking about compound interest, it's a very, very. Nowadays, you have this zero. What do you call them?
0% EMI.
Uh, zero.
0% interest EMI.
Yeah, 0% interest EMI. But most of the products they don't come with a 0% EMI.
Yeah.
If you, for example, if you're buying a home, things that have real value they don't come with a 0% EMI.
No.
Your car, I don't think it comes with a 0% EMI.
No.
Your home, I do not think. Even if you're going to start a business, you don't get a 0% EMI because they know that loans are the only way that they can earn. Banks. Now let me talk about banks.
Yeah.
How do banks earn?
Exactly.
What do people think about banks? Banks, they take money, they give you money, right? Somebody else. So number one, there are three parties.
Yeah.
There's one entity which gives some amount of money or a loan to the bank.
Yeah.
Okay, so it might give it. Let me talk about it this way. The entity is giving the loan to the bank at a 4%
Yeah.
interest rate, and the bank is giving you, the customer, the loan at a 7% interest rate. Just an example, just a number, and the bank gets to earn 3% of the interest. The differential between the entity that gave the bank the loan
Yeah.
and the bank then lended it back to you.
Yeah.
So that's a bank's work, and people need to understand that credits and the penalties and loans and the loan charges. This is the way that banks
earn.
work.
Yeah.
Banks earn. That's the way how banks earn. They do not have to pay penalty rates, penalty
Prices.
charges or the penalties to anyone else. They charge it from you, and that's how they run. So that's one very important thing. So even when you're going to buy your car, now let me talk about cars or some vehicles that you're buying. Cars are assets which have a depreciating value.
Exactly.
Their value does not increase with time.
Yeah.
So basically what you're doing is the car's value is going down, but you're still continuing to pay for it.
Yeah. So just
That's one of the reasons.
So just
Yeah, tell me.
putting on the question for you, Prashant. What do you think about cars? Like in this day and age, would you buy one? And if you do buy one, what would be like? What is the position that you have to be in to buy a car, and you think that okay, I can afford this, and I'll take the charges that come along with it, and what is the reasons that you won't take a car?
Okay. Let me divide it into two different areas, right?
Yeah.
One is buying a car upfront, paying for the car upfront, and the number two is paying for the car via EMI or via a loan.
Yeah.
Now, when I started managing my money like 6-7 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
because before that I earned a lot of money. I could have done a lot of things with that, but all of the money in small equipments, so small machines, small gadgets, this or that, I used to spend that money. But now, since the last 7 or 8 months, I've started managing my money very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
So now, talking about cars. If I have to pay for the car upfront, I need to have a certain bank balance,
Yeah.
and the car should be like 5 to 10. The cost of the car should be 5 to 10% of the bank balance that I have, of the cash that I already have in hand. Do you understand that?
Damn.
See, that's a very smart. See, why I'm telling you this is, if I'm paying, for example, if I have 10 lakhs in my bank account and I'm taking out 5 lakhs and paying it upfront, I'm putting up 50% of my worth into the car.
Yeah.
People need to understand that. I'm putting 50% of my worth in the car. Okay? So that, but it has to be a good person. My bank balance has to be really good. Now, talking about EMI, as I said, your depreciating value and the value of the loan is going up. The more time you take to pay up your loan, the more amount you have to pay. Sometimes it goes up to more than 40% of the car's value. For example, if the car's value is 10 lakh, you end up paying 4 lakhs as interest or something, 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs of interest. So that's what happened. But one thing that you need to understand is if you're going to buy a car on an EMI, most probably what happens is your warranty runs out before your loan payment, before you completely pay your loan. For example, if the car's warranty, most of the cars come with a warranty of 3 years. Now, most people who buy cars, if they have a good income, they'll usually take 2 to 3 years or 4 years.
Yeah.
But most of the people, they take 5 years to pay for their car.
Yeah.
That's one thing that people need to understand. And if you're taking up that, your warranty is going to run out before you're paying your entire loan. So that's a very, very bad situation where the companies keep you. So that is why that is something that you should clearly steer away from.
Yeah.
And then what happens is when you don't pay your complete amount, you're actually not owning the car. The bank owns the car unless you completely pay up the money. So that's a very, very important factor that people need to understand. As I said, it's a very bad investment if you're putting EMI, if you're paying an EMI.
My dad told me that, like he owns a car, so he is giving his experience. Okay, why shouldn't you own a car? Okay, so he says that in today's day and age, if you go for a good car, okay, when you are going for a car, he's someone who is like, if you are going for something, go for something that stays for long, right? Otherwise, there's no point in going for it. So if you are going for a good car, it costs you 8 to 10 lakhs. Okay, let's catch it at 8. Okay, 8 lakhs you are paying for it. If you take up the interest of around somewhere say 5%, okay, you are paying in some 3 to 4 years. Okay, you are paying over 1 to 1.5 lakhs in that as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So
let me just open up a car EMI calculator so that we can exactly put our fingers on what we are saying.
Yeah.
So let me select a brand. 10 lakhs, right? I think the Hyundai Creta comes in 10 lakhs.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm selecting the e-diesel is the cheapest one is e-diesel.
Yeah.
So it's 9.99 lakhs. How much EMI how much down payment are you going to put, Eric?
Down payment maybe 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs maybe. 4 lakhs, 3 lakhs. I don't know. Yeah, that's the amount.
4 lakhs is a handsome amount.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 lakhs you're putting up, it's a good amount. Interest rate, I'll keep it as, it's usually 8%, but I'll keep it as 10%, okay?
Okay.
Now, what's the tenure of the loan that you want it for?
3 years. So let's keep it 4 years.
3 years.
Let's give it 4 years.
Let's keep it 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's keep it
so
4
for
years.
the 4 years,
Yeah.
oh wow. So for the 4 years, your total loan amount is 7 lakhs. 7 lakhs 42,000. The EMI you get for 4 years, which is 12 for the 48 months, is 18,800. Okay, something.
Yeah, so 7 lakh 42 plus 4 lakhs that you have already paid, that becomes at 11.42 lakhs something, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So 1.42 lakhs is the extra amount that you're paying on.
Yeah, it comes down to 1.6 lakhs as it says here.
Yeah.
So 1.6 lakhs.
1.6 lakhs basically, yeah. So you're paying that much amount, okay, 11 lakh, so let's say 11.5 lakh rupees that you're paying for just for the car. 5,000 rupees a month that you're paying for the fuel, okay. 5,000 into 12, that becomes 60,000.
Yeah.
60,000 rupees, 60,000 into 5 years of the amount, that becomes 3 lakh rupees in fuel, okay. So 3 lakh rupees comes out in fuel, and then maintenance of the car has to be every like 2 big maintenances a year and 2 small maintenances. So that takes it up to 15,000 rupees per big maintenance. That becomes 30,000 rupees. So 30,000 rupees, and then of small maintenance of 5,000, that makes it 10,000. So 40,000 rupees per year for maintenance. Okay. So, and plus insurance becomes one part, then PUC, then all the other factors that come into play. All the thing makes your car on an average yearly basis 75,000 to 1 lakh rupees of that amount, considering it does not have any damages or any accidents. Okay. So that comes into that part. So basically 3 lakh rupees in fuel, and 1 lakh rupees into so let's say 75,000 into 4 again, that makes it 3 lakh 50 like 3 lakh rupees again. Okay, so in 4 years time you are paying 11 lakhs plus 3 lakhs plus 3 lakh rupees, that is almost 17 lakh rupees that you are paying for a car.
Lakhs.
Yeah. My dad says tu 17 lakh ka to ola nahi chalayega na.
नहीं चलाएगा. For sure.
Like
For sure.
the debate gets
Exactly.
over right there, you know, कि 17 लाख का तो तुम
Exactly.
ओला तो नहीं चलाने वाले, ये कितना भी दूर चला लो, कितना भी
Yeah.
तुम्हें दूर जाना है, दूर जाके आओ, तुम 17 लाख का नहीं खरीदोगे.
Hmm.
But still when it comes to, you
Barabar.
know, when Ola gives you an option of 1000 rupees, it seems a bit too
Yeah.
high for us, right? We still choose an option to
Exactly.
go wherein it's not very convenient for us. So that comes
Right,
into,
because when you have a car, you take your car wherever to every corner of the world. You want to take go in
yeah,
your car to the nearest store as well.
yeah.
So that's what happens. But Ola, I think, compared to the calculations that you've just offered or provided, Ola seems a better option, man. Or maybe Uber for that.
Correct. Okay. And in Mumbai, if you're purchasing a house, it's ridiculous. Okay. It's illogical to purchase a house in Mumbai at this point of time, because
Yes. Yes.
it doesn't make any sense. Your whole life you're just going to pay out the loan,
Yes.
and the price
Yes.
that you
Yes.
purchase it at,
Exactly.
you're just going to pay the double of it. Okay. It's 20-year
Double of it, and
loans.
Eric, you're not going to enjoy the home. Basically, you are not
Absolutely.
because you're going to. My worst sentiment or emotion about buying homes at an EMI or with a loan is that I won't get to enjoy that house
Yeah.
because I'm going to spend my whole life working.
Thinking about.
Yeah, I'm thinking because every moment, and I know of people, who at the end of the month have to, you call it making ends meet. They have to make ends meet. They have to pull the rope together to
Yeah.
make ends meet. That's how I'm trying to put it out and explain, to pay off that EMI, and that many times comes at the cost of your health, because you're not going to take. But now, for example, if you have a sizable income, if you have a specific income, and most of that income goes into your EMI for your home, you won't be able to give the best quality of health attention to your body
Mm-hmm.
that it needs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Of course, you won't be able to do that.
You won't
And
be
then
able to
comes the
leave your job.
mental. You won't be able to leave your job. You become a slave.
Yeah.
You cannot speak up.
Exactly.
If something wrong is happening, you cannot speak up. You have to mess up your ethics because of that.
Yeah.
Because of your.
Because of you're scared.
Sorry?
Because you are scared. You are scared on a daily
Because you're
basis.
scared, yeah, because you're bound. You have to, at the end of the month, or at the beginning of the next month, you have to pay off that EMI. So you lose your health quality, you lose your mental health quality, you lose your ethical quality, and that comes at the cost of a lot of things which people don't understand. For example, you and I doing this thing, many people have a lot of hobbies. They have to 9 to 5, and then but that's what happens when you spend your entire lifetime buying a house, and then you don't get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right? You don't get to take vacations, you don't get to spend big on your health, you don't get to spend big on the quality of education that you give to your kids. Most probably what happens is, when parents are already in a loan for their homes, they put that burden of the educational loan on their children. So the children have to pay before the career of the children starts. They are already in debt, they are already in loan.
Yeah.
And that's how they begin their careers, which is a very, very bad starting point for kids. That's why most of the people, they say,
You are
don't take
starting from
educational
minus.
loans.
You are not starting from zero. You
You're
are starting
starting
from minus.
Yes. And then from the first month, you have to start paying off your
Yeah.
EMI.
Yeah.
Paying your EMI. So that's a very, very bad situation. And I didn't add in the unemployment in India that's going on right now, because that makes the picture look very, very bad. So
Yeah.
that's another point. So that's why I don't recommend, and I don't want to buy
Yeah.
buy a home of a loan. So that's a very, very bad proposition. But that's how things are, man. That's how people are making ends meet in Mumbai. That's why you call it's a dream. It's the Mumbai dream that you, just like you say, they call it
American
the
hustle,
dream.
yeah.
It's the Mumbai dream. Right? It's the Mumbai hustle, and the Mumbai hustle is way, way tougher than the American
Yeah.
hustle, because in America the standard of life
Yeah,
is
it's much
somewhat
higher.
equal. It's not. Yeah, it's the difference between the standard of life of people,
In
rich
in-
people and poor people, is not very
Yeah.
big.
In Mumbai,
India,
you see a skyscraper
Mumbai-
here and नीचे ही उसके झुक के पड़ा रहेगा, है ना?
Yes. You come via flight. You understand what
Yeah.
we're talking about. You see buildings here, skyscrapers, the mountains, and then you see a
Dharavi.
sea of slums. Yeah. So that's how things are. And yeah, and I wanted to share one thing. Today I
And
met a very
just-
fine gentleman who.
Just
Yeah, please.
getting into one, just barging you in. As Ben Shapiro once said, okay, if the one of his best quotes that I've ever heard is, Ben Shapiro once said, if someone is poor, it's not because they didn't earn money, it's because they didn't spend it right. they didn't
Yeah.
save it right. Okay, if you're if some like, I'm not taking a dig at anyone, I'm just saying, like, if someone is poor right now, it's not because they couldn't earn money, it's because they didn't know where to save it, where to spend it, and how to use it. That's the biggest problem. Okay, because
Yeah.
everybody, if you look at it, has earned different styles of money and different life, they had have different lifestyles. Okay, but as soon as you look at it, it's always comes down to the status game. Okay,
Yeah.
अपने गेम के बाहर खेलने की कोशिश की गई, एंड यू नो जब दूसरे वो कर रहे थे, हमने करने की कोशिश की, जब हमारी वो हैसियत नहीं थी, that time
Yeah.
you lose. Okay, when you play in your game, that is the time you are going to win, and then you move on to the next level. Don't jump into the level
Yes.
5 before clearing level 1. Yeah, go on.
But
So
the problem is the status game is very, very easy to play.
Very.
The wealth game is very, very difficult to play.
absolutely.
The status game, you play, you win the move now, but you have to pay the cost of this move
Later.
later on. But the wealth game, you have to hustle, you have to work hard, and then you keep winning small victories, which turn into bigger victories.
Absolutely.
And most of the people who are into the wealth game, they then stop minding about their status. That's what happens basically. For example, the same goes on with with bike maintenance, right?
Yeah.
What happens is most people, even if you give the car to a very good your bike to a very good maintenance place where they where they do all this refurbishing, even then there's no 100% guarantee that they are going to give 100% attention or 100% maintenance to your bike.
Yeah.
You know there are frauds going on in the oil refill that you do. They put up old oil, they get discounts from companies. There's a lot of shady things going on when you give anything. Even if you call your AC guy to do maintenance for your AC, your refrigerator, you need to know basic things, because तुमको लगता है कि वो उधर AC कर रहा है, he's not doing anything, he's just opening it up, doing some basic things and closing it back, right? But that pays off. That doesn't pay off in the long term. So you need to know basic things, basic essentials about everything that you have. For example, if you have a car, you need to know कि कार में क्या क्या है, क्या क्या चीज़ की वजह से कार खराब हो सकता है, because that's what happened in the US, right? India का customer service इतना क्यों बढ़ गया? Why does India have so many call centers? Because the number of call centers in India is equivalent to the number of what would I say, uneducated people who don't know about basic things, people who don't know how to repair basic things, people who don't know how to troubleshoot your computer, people who don't know what to do when Chrome is not working, right? Exactly. And I think you can tell me better about this.
Like that's what they say, you know, like in the most number of times the, you know, any US guy or any foreign people call a call center, it connects to India, you know. So there was a Billboard joke that he didn't add in one of his shows that he came to India, and he said that, you know, I must have spoken to half of you right now. So so he said that. Okay, and he didn't add it in the show because he forgot when he came on stage. So he's told one of his podcasts. So that's why, you know, we like talking, because that's how we use our resources. You know, business processing outsourcing is what is a BPO, right? So basically, the business is somewhere else in some other country. They are outsourcing it to our country, and we help it by, you know, giving them the help that they need. So that's also a good thing, but that's why the most scamsters that come out of the call centers are Indians as well. Okay, because if I've been in a call center, so I know that some of my friends have worked in scam call centers as well, wherein, you know, they give their money so easily, dude. If you just tell them, you know, the security services are coming to their house in 10 minutes, they'll be like, okay, don't tell them to come. They'll like just transfer $900 into this bank account and tap, gaya hua amount. This is something that the things that people do. Now, that being said, people need to be very careful, and, you know, this in our country, if you believe it or not, our banking systems are really good. Okay, our banking systems are really good. They are very efficient. Okay, you know about each and everything if you want to. Okay, you get every detailed amount. जैसे आपका transaction हो रहा है, you know that, you know, there's a transaction that has happened. In UK, that's not the case. Okay, everywhere
Okay.
everywhere you have kept your direct account. Okay, like it's not the card system or the bill that you pay on a monthly basis. That's not the thing. They have connected their bank account itself to the system, so the money automatically gets credited, and they are most of the times not getting informed about it, or they don't care about it because they have so much. Sometimes the amount is so huge that is taken out of it that they don't know, and they come to know about it 10 months later, and उसके बाद झगड़ा करने आते हैं वो लोग, इतना पैसा कैसे ले लिया तुम लोग ने. So they do not keep track, and they have a very very slow banking system, because I have worked in a UK process and they have a super slow banking processing system. So
Okay.
when we talk about our developing countries, India has one of I think we have a great banking system right now, and if anything is needed, our net banking systems, our mobile banking systems are also really superb.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah. Given the comparison 5 years before, 6 years before, and the mobile, especially the mobile payments, the UPI or mobile payments, the mobile payments are
The
very
only
very
good
smooth
thing
and
Motin
very,
by
very-
Moti ji, UPI payments.
Yeah, of course. But then again, if you go about it, the cash still rules.
Yeah.
Cash is the king. Cash still is the king.
And liquid
So,
money, just on that, liquid money, let's...
It's crazy how we always want to discredit Modi.
No. Like that's a good thing, because if you right now see, from a pani puri wala to a kirana store wala to a sabji wala, everybody
Yeah.
mostly right now has a UPI ID, and it's so simple. If you forget your wallet,
Yeah.
you have your phone in your pocket and you have an internet connection. Thanks to Mukesh bhai. If he said in a Zuckerberg interview, like if the the virus happened some 5 years back, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. It will be very difficult for us to have this conversation, okay?
Yeah.
And the connectivity that he provided at that point of time, it is very important. We have to know that, अगर अब भी हम गली गली से जुड़ सकते हैं, it is because of Jio more often than not. Otherwise, most people wouldn't be connected through Zoom, right? Most people do not have that.
Most of the people would be playing that snake game in their Nokia phones.
Yeah.
If it wouldn't for Android and Jio.
For
and
sure,
all
for
this,
sure.
right?
Yeah, so exactly, and people think that, in India, making money is wrong. Because पैसा ज़्यादा है उसके पास से ज़्यादा दूर नहीं रहने का, इतने पैसे का क्या करेंगे. And these are the people who, first of all, don't have money.
Yeah.
Like
And what I've noticed now that I'm working in the corporate world is that most of the corporate world looks down on businesses. They do not think very good. They do not
Sure.
have positive vibes about businesses. Because they think that they are the corporate world people. They think that they somehow are at a
They are
higher level
status,
or a higher
status
pedestal,
game, status
higher
game.
ground, status game, and they talk very very poorly or very very lowly of businesses. But then again, businesses are businesses running at their own time, producing their own things, giving out their own services, and businesses are a good reason why people are surviving these days. And I think individual businesses, freelancing businesses are the way forward now.
Yeah, and I'm
Given
just
the
thinking,
unemployment.
I'm just thinking again, if someone says कि I own a factory, and if someone says that मैं Wipro में software engineer है, the Wipro software engineer has the more value, even though the factory owner earns over 5 crore rupees in a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure,
That's the
sure.
biggest problem
Yeah.
that we face, because वो मारवाड़ी है या फिर वो गुजराती है and he doesn't speak English.
And have you noticed this, that we have stereotyped every person who's trying to earn money?
Yeah.
Gujarati, Marwadi, right? Even
Sindhi.
Biharis, because they work very hard,
Sindhi.
right? Bhaias, Sindhis, because they work very hard. So that's not a very good sign of a developing society. We shouldn't be doing that. No matter who,
because
what
it's a
state they
class-based
come from.
society, right? Indians are class-based
Yeah.
society. So this was one of the points that I wanted to make. Okay, so guys, I know this was a podcast wherein we had to talk about what are the things we should do and we shouldn't do. So this is a very huge topic about money that we are covering right now. So we wanted to do this. So maybe we'll change the topic of the episode, okay, and we'll put in something else. So don't worry about it. So. India is a class-based society. So what Brahmin, Vaishya and all those things was about the money that they had at that point of time. And Dalits didn't have that sort of money at that point of time. That's why they were called the untouchables or those things, because it was a money and status game at the same point of time. You had money, you stayed in a rich place, you had a lot of wealth. Okay. Even now when people say the same thing but they are poor, that doesn't make sense. That's the biggest problem, right? And
Yeah.
they are not given the opportunity to come up as well. Okay, they are not given the opportunity, even though they have money. Okay, even though that they have money. Okay, they stay in a very posh place in Mumbai. Okay, even the AC guy that comes into their place listens to their surname and says कि मैं यहाँ का पानी नहीं पीऊँगा. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
audacity that you have right now. Okay, the audacity that you have to not respect the person and learn from him. How did he do
So
what he did?
that's one of the memes that's going on. In the US, you ask the name.
Yeah.
In India, you ask the
Jaat.
name, surname, state, caste, gotra, and all.
आप कौन सा जात
So
का हो?
and I face that because most of the people who I work where I work, or most of the people wherever you go, they ask your name, and I only tell them my first name, because then I don't want them to start guessing and doing the math about
Pasunuri.
where I am from. Yeah, who I am from, where I am from, because I want them to use their brains, that little data that they're spending on me, very wisely for good things. That's why I don't tell them. So then they ask me again, Prashant? Then I tell them, yes, Prashant. Nothing more. You don't need to know anything more than that. Stay wherever you are. So that's the things. I mean, I think people are, I don't know if I can say that people are understanding this, because we should have been understanding this by now. But yeah, I think the future will be good. If people like you and me are there, if there are more people who think like you and I do, about caste and about why we shouldn't be judging based on class or based on economy or such things.
And
I
remember,
think the
guys, we are
society
not
will change.
we are not superhumans or something. We also sometimes judge. Okay, we also look at someone and we also judge. We try not to, but
Yeah, we
there,
judge.
but
We judge.
it's human in us, to judge someone just because it is in us. It is a very human nature to judge. And when you have a person in at your side to talk about the same, you almost judge that person. Okay, and if you have noticed, you won't judge the person if you're walking alone. You won't mind it, but you
See, Eric, that's where the ethical I'm sorry for
Dilemma.
cutting you so
No,
badly.
no
I have a
problem.
very, very bad habit. But that's where the ethic comes from, that treat others as you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Do as to others as you want them to do to you.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, talking about me, and you as well, our color, of course, because of a color, people might have treated us very badly, and that's the case with me. But then what I do is I try to be as good as I want them to be with me.
Yeah,
Right?
we have a
Because
defensive
that's, I
barrier
think-
already. That's why we had to, basically evolve our personalities. I don't know. Maybe because we had to work on it, but a tad bit more than the others, because we didn't have the looks that someone else did.
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah. Sure. So that's how things are, ladies and gentlemen. And we wanted to talk about things that what you should do and what you shouldn't do in your
Get
teenage
one
years.
drop in your
But
engineering is not two. That's also one thing that I want to
not
say.
to. Yeah, exactly. But then if you wouldn't have done engineering, I don't know what you would have done, boy. I don't know where you would have
Yeah.
been. What do you think? What
Like,
do you
yeah,
think?
I
What would
think
have-
engineering would, like, something other than engineering would have been great as well. Okay, but yeah, engineering teaches you a lot of things, blah blah blah, ye wo. But if at that point of time I learned something better that would have been useful for me, okay, that's something I liked about. Okay, but 18 में आपको क्या पसंद है, आपको खुद क्या पता? That's also one thing.
And 18 may another thing about you is the education scam.
Yeah, sure.
The tutorial, the academy scam, and this scam, which we'll cover in some other episode. But so what we are going to do, I think we'll do this small series of scams that we don't know about: the financial scams, the education scams, the medical scams, the housing scam, the banking scam, the status and wealth game wala scam. These are scams basically because we do not know what's going on. We think ऐसा ही चलता है दुनिया, ऐसा ही चलता
The
है,
fourth pillar of
ऐसे ही
democracy
चलता है.
wala scam.
Fourth pillar of
Wow,
democracy.
we
wala
have
scam.
spoken about that a lot already, I guess.
So much. Yeah.
So
We've spoken about that a lot, and I cannot. Now I've stopped speaking about that. I only whenever now that point will come, whenever that topic will come about politics or about the fourth democracy, I think I'll only say that I have positive hopes for the future, because that's the best that you can do.
Exactly.
Because then you will be hitting the hammer on your head, man.
Yeah.
Trying to explain things or blowing the horn in front of a deaf. So
Uh,
that's
in-
how things work. But then, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is it, because we try to tell you what you should have done or what you should not have done in your teenage years, because that's what decides how you're going to
or
behave.
even now.
So there are behavioral, yeah. Even now, when you're in your early 20s or even in your mid or late 20s, what happens is these early behavioral patterns, the way you behave with money, the way you behave with people, the way you behave with relations and your emotions at the same time, and the way you behave with material wealth, that decides how you're going to spend more than half of your later life.
Sure.
Right, and that's why I think this is one of the reasons that Eric and I decided that we'll do this thing, and we will do this again. We want to uncover some more things that you should not have done or should have done in your teenage years, and there's a hell lot of things that you should have done in your teenage years. Over to you, Eric.
Absolutely. That this was, I guess, a fantastic episode. I didn't feel, that time flew off so quickly, and we, no, if our listeners know us, we deviate from a topic very quickly, but this time we
Yeah.
didn't, and this time we kept on the wealth topic for a long period of time, and I feel that you guys enjoyed this episode as well. So if you did, do hit that like button on the screen that you see right now. If you're watching it on a laptop, more often than not, you're watching it on your phone. So do hit that like button on that YouTube. If you're listening to us on Google Podcast, go to YouTube, hit that like button, come back and listen to us here. And then comment as well, and go follow us on the CWC Podcast on Instagram. We have changed our handle because it was too long. So it is the CWC Podcast now. So guys, first of all, Happy New Year to everyone. Okay, may this year be a wealthy proposition for you. May this year you may earn some wealth. Okay, and even if you are in college, you can find 100 ways to earn wealth at this point of time by doing hundreds of things, because right now everything is online. You can do something for an hour and get paid for it as well. Okay, this is how you're going to earn a new skill, hone a new skill, by doing something, and not just by doing a course, by paying money for it. Okay, so thank you so much, Prashant, for joining us. I guess this was one of our best episodes that we just spoke about. So guys, this is it from me and Prashant. That is Charcha with the Chichaas. Your discussion adda. Take care. Bye.